I am excited now to share an idea with you that I came upon through Yitzchak Breitowitz and this past Pesach. And it goes the following. The Parsha of Ki Savo, so that starts in Pasuk Hey, Arami Ovid Ovi. Arami Ovid Ovi. From Arami Ovid Ovi, for the next 50 words. 4 psukim, including that one, and continue to a whole 50 words, summarizes the entire Yetzias Mitzrayim. Yeridas Mitzrayim and Yetzias Mitzrayim. And it's a very interesting thing. And this is found, all of this is found in the Haggadah. When the Haggadah and the Rambam says, we darshan from where? From Arami Ovid Ovi, and verbatim, each of these 4 psukim are then quoted and brought down in the Haggadah. And then everything else which is discussed at that point, after each pasuk, is the Haggadah darshans by bringing different parts from Shmos V'ei L'Bo B'Shalach. But you would imagine we don't take and add to the Seder Shmos V'ei L'Bo B'Shalach. Otherwise, we'd still be sitting at the Seder. There's so much. But here we have 50 psukim and 10 verbs that bring out the whole inyan of Yetzias Mitzrayim. It starts with Arami Ovid Ovi, which is, of course, Lavan, and it says, Vayerid Mitzrayim Vayoger Shabim Seima. The Jews came down, they lived there as a small group, Vayisham, and they became there a large nation. Then the next pasuk, after they're there, Vayareyu Osanu HaMitzrim Vayanunu. Then the Egyptians were very difficult, with them, and they inflicted them, and they gave them hard work for slavery. V'nitzak el Hashem Elokei Aviseinu v'yishmes koleinu v'yar HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They davened to Hashem. Hashem saw, He heard, He saw, and then the last pasuk. He took us out. So in these 4 psukim, you have the whole Yetzias Mitzrayim, and this is what we darshan from. Very often, we were talking in the Chavrusa this evening that people, when we start, go through the Haggadah, when it comes to these psukim, so we just go through quickly these psukim because we've had a lot to do with the Haggadah up to that point. But the truth is, it's something for us to be aware of, that this is the major part of the Haggadah of the Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim, and the person prepares for it, and it comes from Parshas Ki Savo. In particular from Ki Savo, because Ki Savo has not only Emunas Hashem, of our experience with Hashem, but it also has Hakaras HaTorah. It has, at least for the fact that we're not Kafui Torah, and it has Hakaras HaTorah, and this is part of what goes on at the Seder too. The Ikar is Emunah, and that's what we're passing on from generation to generation. But along with that is the great appreciation for what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has done for us, and it's appropriate that right out of Bikurim, that this part is said from Arami Ovid Ovi. It's recited with Bikurim, which is the quintessential mitzvah to express the fact of Hakaras HaTov to Hashem as much as a human being can do. As we go there, the person says, I want to show I'm not a Kafui Torah. Okay, I'm not an ingrate, but the fact is, we really do appreciate it's appropriate that we use this to show it. Number one idea. A new idea. We're getting ready for Yom Tov, and we speak along with many other shmiras, the shmiras einayim. I want to make an observation about einayim. Shmiras einayim, being careful about what we look at, etc. The eye, of all the organs of the body, is extremely sensitive. If an eyelash falls into the eye, the eye starts to tear. It's hard to be able to focus. If a grain of sand, a grain of dirt, a little piece of dust sometimes gets into the eye, oh boy, problems. There's nothing like that with any organ in the body. A person can go to the Dead Sea. He puts dirt all over, mud all over him from top to bottom. It doesn't bother him. The body doesn't care much. The eyes, very, very sensitive. And that's a something to indicate. Well, what's the indication? The Sforim say the eye is the Mishkan Hashchina. In a human's body, it is the dwelling place of the Shechina. Is the eye. And the fact is, they say the eye is the window of the soul. The fact is that it's the Mishkan Hashchina. That's why when a person passes on, the Chevra Kadisha, that when they're preparing him for burial, place dirt on his eyes. Now, many different reasons for it. That's not the purpose of what we're saying now. But when he was alive, as the Mishkan Hashchina, we have to make sure the eyes are completely, and can see, not even an eyelash. After he passes away, it's not the Mishkan Hashchina anymore. You can put dirt in his eyes, and that's okay too. But so therefore, one has to be extremely careful, and during this time, to be careful of the Mishkan Hashchina and keep it in the best possible way. Another idea, when we are going to be dipping in Yis Hashem, the tapuach in dvash, the apple and honey, it is interesting to see that what type of honey do we use? We use honey from, I would think maybe from Tmorim. Maybe date honey, that would be very good, because dates are one of the fruits of Eretz Yisrael. But no, we use bees honey. One of the reasons that we use bees honey instead of date honey, and this is where even the idea is that even where you could get date honey, a person could say, well, they don't have dates, all over the world, so maybe that was it. Nowadays they do have dates all over the world. But the fact is that, in any kind, even when they had date honey and bees honey, we chose bees honey. Why? And one of the reasons that Rabbi Zilberstein gives is that when a person collects honey from bees, invariably, even if he has protective gear, he may get stung. What we are showing Rosh Hashanah time, that even if it may be inconvenient sometimes, even though there are sometimes stings in doing mitzvahs, whatever, it's worth it. It's sweet, it's good, it's like Baruch Hashem Ashreinu, with all the stings. Sometimes someone said to me, even with the sting, it's because there are stings, and they even make it more geschmack. Whatever it is, the fact is, Baruch Hashem, that we are doing mitzvahs despite anything that gets in our way. Lastly, I'll speak about the shofar for a moment. And the shofar, now the Rambam says, of course, Uru Yeshayim mi Shinaskam. Wake up! This is what you do. Today is 10 more days till Rosh Hashanah. Wake up! Fine, it's true. Another piece, though, is the Shlosh says, it is a shofar of tikva. It is a shofar of hope. We start off with the tekiyas. We start with the tekiya, we end with the tekiya. A tekiya is a clear blast, that just without being interrupted. All of a sudden, there's a shvarim, there's a trua, it's cut up. That indicates problems. In other words, a person's going well, fine. All of a sudden, he's having problems in keeping all the mitzvahs, But then he does tshuva, and it goes back, smooth as such. That's where Baruch Hashem Ashreinu, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us this opportunity to come close to us, to be dveik, have dveikus as such. And I would just remind us that the last week of the year, the last week before Rosh Hashanah, and Rosh Hashanah is on a Sunday night, the last week, the last days of the year are misakin. We'll talk about more next week. Are misakin help the year. There's one approach of the 7 days within the 10 days of Aseret Shnei Tshuva. There's another. Rav Eliezer Lopian speaks about it. There's also the last days of the week, the last Sunday, the last Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos. They are going to help us to repair all the various days of the year if we take them seriously and work on it. Ken Yehi Ratzon, that we should be able to do all of this. Good Shabbos.